I have never been that kind of person that loved farming games. The closest I ever got to a farming game when I was younger was listening to my grandma talk about her Facebook Farmville. But then the panorama struck, and what did I have to do during the panini? Absolutely nothing. It was during this time that I wanted to try a new type of game, something that I could get involved in, something that would make me excited and happy, something that helped me forget about real life. And that game was actually not Stardew Valley, it was actually Animal Crossing New Horizons, but we're getting there, I promise, there is a point. Maybe it was because I had nothing else to do, but I genuinely became obsessed with Animal Crossing to the point where it became my entire life. I had never felt this way about a game of this style before, to where all I wanted to do was talk to my villagers and walk around the island and design things and plant things, and it was so odd. I had never felt this way about a game like this before. So I really credit Animal Crossing for opening the door to my mind that had been locked for so long about games of this style and making me know that I could actually enjoy them. Now enter Stardew Valley. See, I told you we'd get there, girl. Glad you didn't click away. Stardew Valley was a game that I had heard so many of my friends talking about endlessly, saying that they were obsessed. They spent all their time doing it. They loved it so much. The characters are so fun. They loved farming. They wanted to become a farmer in real life because of it. Like, I had heard so freaking much about this one game, and I just never played it. My journey with Stardew Valley actually starts way back when, a couple of years ago, when my boyfriend at the time was the one who introduced it into my life by saying that we should have a farm together. And of course, I just said yes. I didn't know anything about the game at the time. We named our farm the Saturn Farm because I was obsessed with Sailor Moon at the time. I loved Sailor Saturn. It just all made sense. On first playthrough, I thought the game was really cute. I was actually really enjoying it, but there felt like a lot to get into. There felt like just so much that I didn't know, and there was so much that needed to get done, and I just didn't know how to do it, so I started getting a little bit frustrated and overwhelmed. That relationship then ended, so I took a break from the game, and I didn't touch it for a very long time. Enter last month. I have a wonderful friend group with lots of gamers who love to play games together over the phone, and we just have a grand old time. And one of those games that we wanted to play was Stardew Valley. For me, this felt like pulling the old DVD player out of the closet. Like, it needed some dusting. It needed some time to make sure it still worked. But of course, my friends all said that it was amazing. All these things that I'd heard for so long about this game, of how great it is, and how I was gonna love it, and I just dived right in. Enter my Stardew training arc. When I first started playing the game again with my friends, I was very heavy on the training wheels. Let's just say that. I didn't know what anything was. I didn't know how to plant crops. I didn't know where anything was. I didn't know who anyone was, and you better not ask me where they live because I certainly could not tell you. It took a hot minute before I actually felt like I knew what I was doing and I could take those training wheels off. But the time did come to where I felt confident in what I was doing. I started learning people's names. I started learning where things were. I started learning where specific items were and where to find them and how long things took to grow and all the specifics that you think about when you think of Stardew Valley. And then before I knew it, I was hooked. From then on, every time gaming sessions with my friends would end, I didn't get enough. I always wanted more. I wanted to keep playing, and so I made a solo farm. I named it the Sunny Farm because of the Thousand Sunny from One Piece, and I just thought that it was a really cute name for a farm, and I got started. You start out the game by moving to Stardew Valley, where your grandfather, who has recently passed away, passes down his farm that he has cultivated for his entire life over to you. And yeah, it's full of weeds, rocks, branches. I mean, they really just threw this at you and said, here you go. But hey, we all gotta start somewhere, and it is now our job to care for and love this farm. Playing Stardew Valley was a completely different experience playing alone. I didn't have any friends to help me with tasks throughout the day. I didn't have a partner to bounce questions and ideas off of. It was just me doing all of this and handling a farm on my own. I for sure thought that the stress would set in. I would get overwhelmed by myself. I would think that, oh, there's way too much to do. I want to accomplish everything all at once, and I would just get way too overwhelmed in order to continue. But that day never came. I started playing every single day and I just loved it. I kept adding more and more to my farm. I kept getting closer to all the villagers. I wanted nothing more than to keep growing and expanding everything the game had to offer. And before I knew it, this game became a part of my daily life. Whenever I'm not working or I had a moment of free time, I would want to pick up Stardew Valley and I would want to do at least one day, and it became like that ever since I started. But that did not mean that I wasn't still intimidated by all the new things that I had never experienced. I mean, for so long, I hadn't even made it past spring. So when I made it to summer for the very first time, good lord, my senses were completely thrown. It's like you dropped me in a different country. But I just continued to ground myself in the tasks that I knew how to do and just kept moving forward. I worked on the community center, I planted all the new seasonal crops, I got animals, I started getting closer with villagers, and even found romance along the way with my dream guy, Alex. But of course, with every farm, there will come your fair share of mistakes. There came times where I didn't even know what sprinklers were, how to craft them, where to place them, or where was the ideal sprinkler location. I would forget people's birthdays, I would give them things they absolutely hated and did not want, and the amount of times that I passed out in the mines and skull caverns is actually insane. Yeah, I wonder if all that starfruit wine could cover all my medical bills. But after many days, many weeks of real-time playing, here we are at what my farm currently is. I could not be more proud of the Sunny Farm and all the progress I have made, and for someone who was not a farm video game player at all whatsoever, this was not my type of tea, this was not my genre, girl, I am in it, and I love every single second of it. I make cheese and truffle oil every day, I love my greenhouse with my ancient fruit and star fruit, I'm making wine every day, I mean, I got it right in my basement, I love doing all of this. I wish this was my real life sometimes. Stardew Valley just awakens that like deep-rooted fantasy in my mind of like moving to a small town and just like starting from the ground up. Like, do any of y'all get that same feeling when you play a game like Stardew Valley where you just want to move to the middle of nowhere and make a farm? Like, I know it's not ideal. It would never work for my life, but girl, I'm thinking about it. And something else that really helped me root myself in Stardew Valley in particular was all the characters, just the people that you interact with. The people in the town, when you first move there are so many of them, they do not want anything to do with you, they will not talk to you, they would punch you in the face if they could. They want nothing to do with you, and I'm looking at you, Shane. But as time goes on and you start to learn more about these villagers, you start to love them, you start to care for them, you start to get excited when you see them, you start to learn your favorites, the people you want to be friends with, the people you want to date. Like, it's so fun to get to know all of these different personalities that you're living with in the same town. Some of my favorite people to talk to in the game include, but are not limited to, Sebastian, Evelyn, Sam, Krobus, and so many more. Very small town vibes where everybody knows everybody, everybody's up in each other's business and drama, everybody knows each other's tea. Like, I found y'all in the bushes. Like, I know what's going on here. You think that I don't know nothing just because I'm on my farm all day getting cheese and making wine and planting melons, but girl, I see what's going on. This is also the perfect time to bring up my in-game husband, Alex. I mean, I never thought that having a virtual in-game marriage would bring me so much joy, but the way that Alex speaks to me, it's just so cute and it's so nice and it's so lovely. He makes me breakfast, sometimes he'll wake up and water the crops or feed the animals when I'm feeling lazy. Like, he's such a good guy. And that goes for any of the eligible bachelors and bachelorettes in Stardew Valley. All of them have their perks of marrying them, and all of them are super fun to get to romance and get to know as you go through all their heart events, and some of them are really freaking cute. One that sticks out in particular to me is Sam's when you get to date him in his 10 heart event where you sneak into his room and then you kiss in bed. Like, it's wild, some of the stuff that is happening in this game. But aside from the social aspect and the farming, there is also the combat side of it, going into the mines and the skull caverns like I talked about. It took some time. It really did. It genuinely took me a long time before I was just not dying every single time I went in there. But it's a lot of fun, and it really brings in that kind of combat thing that I would want included in a game like this, because I know not all farming games would have an aspect like this involved in it, and it's just nice to have a way to take my anger out when Shane looks at me the wrong way. Nah, I'm just joking. I actually love Shane, and for those of you who have never gotten to know Shane throughout the game, you absolutely should, because his story is definitely one of the interesting ones. But after playing this game every day for pretty much over a month now, it absolutely comes as no shocker and no surprise to me that this game is very easy to get addicted to and to fall into. I mean, there is never a shortage of things to do. There's always something that you could work on. There's always progress to be made, and your farm will always have more stuff. You could get new animals, you could grow new crops, you could make new friends, you could explore new areas that you didn't even know existed. I didn't know there was a desert in this game for the longest time, and do not even get me started on Ginger Island. Still have not quite figured that one out. Someone please help me. Another thing that I love about this game that some of y'all might even relate to is the organizational aspect. I mean, I have always been someone who likes to put things in just places. I love to sort things out. I love to have everything the way that I want it to be. And so having a game like this where I can situate and organize my farm and treasure chests, making sure they're all in the correct order and everything is in the correct spot and place, designing a home, designing my greenhouse, I just really enjoy having that kind of control and organization. Stardew Valley goes through a 4-season cycle with 28 days in each season, and I love this type of gameplay style because it gives you enough time in each season, but also doesn't feel like it's too long. It's not actually taking a complete 365-day year, but you get just enough time in each season, and each season is so different. There's so many different things to do, different festivals, different characters are around, they say different things, they wear different things, there's different crops and different things to do. All the seasons are great, but winter is totally my favorite. I'm just saying, it's so freaking pretty. And do not even get me started about how freaking cute the town is during Christmas time. Okay, I'm done. This game gives you so much creative freedom and freedom of choice, with there being so much replay value, because you can take so many different paths, you can make so many different types of farms, you can make so many different types of choices, and that's what I love so much about it. You can make as many different farms as you would like and marry someone different, have a different type of crop that you're growing, have a different type of artisan product that you're making, and you could have as many farms as you want with as many different play styles and lifestyles as you would like. There is no limit. Or if you're the settling down and commitment type, you could just settle down on one farm and try to put all your energy into that farm to make it as good as possible and make it the farm of your dreams. The lesson that I had to learn, and I would love to share with y'all, is for a game like this, it can feel very overwhelming with how much there is to do. There is no shortage of Stardew Valley content across YouTube and across the internet, with everyone having different farms, everyone has different play styles, everyone has so much that they're doing, but your farm doesn't need to be perfect. There is no such thing as a perfect farm. I mean, there is always going to be that slight part of your brain that's like, oh, I could move this building to the left, or oh, I should move these crops somewhere else, or oh, the lightning destroyed my pathway again. Maintaining your farm is one of the most fun parts of Stardew Valley, and it's going to be a part of everyone's experience. It is just crazy to me how much fun I am having with a game like this, a game that a couple of years ago I would not have even touched or looked at. It's really crazy how fast something can change. I really wanted to make this video today not only to share my love of Stardew Valley and how much fun I'm having with it, to share that with the community for Stardew Valley and all of its fans, and say that, y'all, I'm a part of it now, I am in it, I'm obsessed, and I would love to have conversations about this game. But I also wanted to make this video today to show that if you open up your mind to a different genre of video game, or a different genre of anything, it could be movies, books, anything like that. If you open up to something that you may not be used to, or you may not do all the time, or you may not read or play or watch, you may end up liking it a lot more than you may think. Try something new every now and then. It makes life a lot more exciting. But with that comes the end of today's video. Thank y'all so much for watching and listening to my little Stardew Valley rant. I'm having so much fun playing this game, and it is such a new part of my life. I just started playing last month, and I definitely don't see myself stopping anytime soon. Let me know down in the comment section below what your favorite thing about Stardew Valley is, if you are an avid player of the game, or if you're someone who has never played Stardew Valley and this is the first video you're seeing of it, which would be so crazy to know that this is the first video you're seeing for Stardew Valley. Let me know what's held you back from starting it. Is there anything about the game that you wish it included, or something that you wish you know before starting? Definitely let me know. This game has definitely made a huge impact on my life, and is definitely something I use to relax in my free time now, and I could not be more grateful for the little community that I have cultivated on my little Nintendo Switch. Forever grateful for the people in my life that introduced me to this game and brought it into my life. Grateful for my friends that continue to play it with me and help me whenever I have questions with it. And of course, grateful to all of my in-game friends, and of course, my in-game husband, Alex. I will forever love you, and the fact that you work out shirtless in the front yard. But with that, I'm gonna get going because there's a new season coming up and I gotta get rid of all these dusty old crops. It is insane how fast these things shrivel up overnight.